We have more snow and wind to come, and Keith Carson gives us a live example right now of just how windy it is in Cape Elizabeth. Hey, Keith.
Hey guys, yeah, it has been really nonstop since we got here earlier today, and I think the winds have stayed pretty consistent. We've seen a few stronger gusts that I would venture to guess have been in the 45-mile-per-hour range, maybe a little bit higher. And we're kind of entering that peak time with this wind, where over the next few hours, we're either going to gust to 55 plus and have power outages, or we're going to just be right below that threshold. Let's take a look at the storm on radar if we can here, and we're going to see this storm that's really rotating some of the heavier snow bands inland a bit. And there's a bit of a dry slot area that has started developing along the coastline, especially in down East Maine. Look at that, a huge area of dry air. And that happens with these really dynamic storms sometimes. And you've got some heavier bands that are actually advancing pretty far inland at this point. Wind gusts at the moment, 40 miles an hour due north in Portland, 43. We had a 48 in Bangor. We can stay in that zone and get away with it. If we end up, as I mentioned before, over 50 miles an hour, over 55, that's when we're going to have issues. And it doesn't have to be for very long. Just a gust there would be enough to cause some problems. All right, so if we look forward here in this predictive radar, we're going to try to do a lot of this accumulation of snow in a relatively short period of time, especially along the coastline when the sun sets and we're able to get that large sun angle out of this equation. That's when we're going to try to accumulate several inches of snow in a short period of time. That being said, as the storm gets a little bit more vertically stacked, its dynamics wane. So by midnight tonight, I think we really lose a lot of snowfall rates that will be quite as heavy. So after midnight, it'll be lighter stuff. And by tomorrow morning, most of us are in good shape. The exception to that is going to be Washington and Hancock counties, where they're still going to see snow not only through the morning, but about through the middle of the day tomorrow. That snow will continue there. So that will be the time we have to watch there. It starts to clear out. Thursday is actually a pretty nice day. So we look at these winds, the wind gusts, the models are telling us could be 50 to 55. Remember, those aren't always dead on accurate, but there's certainly a possibility that those wind gusts could be reached, especially over southern coastal Maine and into the mid-coast. All right, after this whole storm stops, we get a nice day on Thursday into the mid-40s, some nice sun. A weak storm system approaches for Friday night, Saturday. That doesn't look like a big deal, but it looks like a little light rain and snow mix, and then rain showers on Saturday, giving way to some sun perhaps by Saturday afternoon. Things are quieter until at least mid next week. We might have something else kicking out at that point. Guys, one final thing here about these winds. What's really interesting is we're trying to bring these winds down basically from the low-level jet stream. So we're trying to push them down to the surface. And I was telling Brian earlier, the weather weenie slang for this is you're sniffing jet stream. And we've got a chance to do that over the next few hours. If we do, that's when we'll get those wind gusts up really high. But guys, certainly windy enough here. We'll see what these snow bands could do as that sun sets over the next few hours.
Yeah, we just got to look at the 7-day really quickly there, Keith, but it seems like as this storm kind of ramps up that anyone who thinks, oh, okay, well, this is kind of wandering out, that the real issue could be tonight with those winds.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Amanda. I heard the first half of that, and then I lost the rest of the audio because it's so windy. But yeah, the storm ramps up
Which
through
answers
tonight.
the question.
Things settle down after that tomorrow, and then I don't know the rest of what you said, but I try.
You answered it. Thanks, Keith. We'll be right back.